I was using Paxil because of social anxiety, right? And I still have a little bit of it today. I don't like big crowds, right? I can speak on stage in front of hundreds of people, right, and be totally cool. But as soon as I come off that stage and people start coming to me and trying to talk to me, I'm like, I gotta go. Like, where is the exit door, right? You have something called pyroluria, right? To talk about what that is, because I think I got it.
Well, firstly, I think it's amazing to hear you say that. And a lot of people will say, you've got social anxiety? They can't believe it. And I have it. So I've got this social anxiety condition called pyroluria. And it's a genetic condition where you've got this higher need for certain nutrients. And it's very common in the autistic community. It's very common in alcoholics. It's very common in other mental disorders. And basically you need higher levels of zinc, vitamin B6, and evening primrose oil.
Why?
When you are, what's made worse by stressful situations, that could be speaking on stage, you know, or the fact that you're now going to have to mix with a whole bunch of people. It could be gluten intolerance. It could be something going on in your gut. It could be just life stresses. So any stressful situation will make you deplete your levels of zinc and B6 much quicker than the average person. So you end up with really, really low levels. And when you've got this pyroluria, you dump zinc and B6 when you stress.
Give us a nerd version of it. It's the HPL enzyme?
Yes, so there's this HPL component that attaches to the zinc and the B6 and gets dumped in the urine. So you end up with low zinc and B6.
Does that happen with everybody? Does everybody have a HPL and is dumping it out? It's just more with people?
With more with people with pyroluria.
Okay, so that depletes the
zinc and the vitamin B6.
Okay, cool. How did you find out that you have this?
When I started having my anxiety, I was in my late 30s, going through perimenopause. It was one of the factors in this perfect storm, and I suddenly got this really bad social anxiety. And when I think back when I was a kid, I used to push through and deal with it. A lot of people with social anxiety will sort of push through and deal with it because you have to get out and do things. But when I was when this was all going on, I just didn't want people to come visit. I just didn't want to go out. I just felt isolated.
Like, leave me alone.
Yes, leave me alone. I just want to stay at home. And I had terrible PMS. I actually had PMS for 3 weeks out of the month. I was a total mess.
Wow.
And yeah, it was really, really bad. And I read Anne-Louise Gittelman's book. She's one of my other heroes. And she's got a book called Taking Charge of Your Perimenopause. And her book said zinc, vitamin B6, and evening primrose oil for hormonal balance and for PMS. And I got on those nutrients. It really helped the PMS. And lo and behold, the anxiety went away. And then later on, I worked in Julia Ross's clinic. And she talks about the pyroluria questionnaire, and we have had all the clients do the questionnaire, and I did this questionnaire and I thought, this is me. That's why the zinc and the B6 and the evening primrose oil worked.
Well, that HPL enzyme dumps out the zinc and B6. Why the evening primrose oil?
So the interesting thing about the evening primrose oil, it's an omega-6. And we'll often hear if you've got mood problems, you should take omega-3. And a lot of doctors will say everyone should be on an omega-3. I disagree with that one as well. I've got some pretty strong opinions. But there's research supporting this. People with pyroluria are able to extract the omega-3s from the food that they eat. And I've seen this in fatty acid testing results with hundreds of people with pyroluria. They can, you know, we can extract the omega-3s from our meat, from our fish, from leafy green vegetables, from walnuts, and we don't need to supplement. Supplementing with the omega-3s can actually end up with too high levels, which then is going to affect the cell integrity and affect immunity and everything. But we have this higher need for this form, alpha-linolenic acid, which you get in evening primrose oil, and they often need to supplement. And I've seen that on fatty acid tests. The other thing is this GLA, or the evening primrose oil, enhances zinc absorption. So you're getting that benefit there, and that combination is great. I do also like to recommend a good multivitamin, so you're getting some manganese, and you're getting some of the other nutrients that you would see in a multivitamin, and it should be copper free. We've got this balance between zinc and copper. When we've got low zinc, we're going to have high copper, and we can feel more anxious when we've got high copper. And for people with pyroluria, having any supplement with copper in it can just affect, it's negating the effects of taking a zinc supplement.
So look at your multivitamin, make sure there's no copper in there. Make sure there's no copper in your zinc.
And then some people, I have to educate them about other sources of copper. And Louise Gittelman's written another great book called Why Am I So Tired? And she talks about the fact that we, have high copper levels. Vegetarians have very high copper levels. Tofu's high copper. Nuts and seeds are high copper. I'm concerned in the GAPS community where a lot of people are baking with nut flours. You're getting way too high levels of, the copper from the nuts. So that can be problematic. A copper IUD can be a problem for some people.
That's right.
So for some people, looking at all these sources of copper, have to be addressed.
You know what's funny is the symptoms of pyroluria sound exactly like introversion. Like that's my thing. If I'm out with the guys at the bar and I'm just feeling a little weird, I'm just like, I'm an introvert. I'm gonna go home, right? Were you able? You were an introvert, right? Or you still are? Is it something that people can cure by way of this protocol?
Absolutely.
Really? So I don't have to be an introvert anymore?
No. But although I have to just take a step back, because a lot of introverts will say to me, don't try and cure me, don't try and change me. I'm quite happy the way I am. Because some people just like to be at home, be with one or two friends, not big crowds, not sort of networking and interacting. And they enjoy that. And a lot of introverts are very defensive. I'm fine the way I am. But there's a lot of introverts who are, because of their work or whatever they do, they have to go out. They maybe have to be in work meetings, they have to go and network, they have to be at functions. And they'll go and do these things and they'll feel so uncomfortable. They'll force themselves. And I've read blogs and comments of people saying, I feel anxious, I just wish I could change that anxiety around being around people. Right. And they're actually extrovert. There's this verb that they use, they extrovert. So they'll go there and they'll put on this brave face and they'll talk and no one will realize how uncomfortable they're feeling. And that's what I was feeling like. I would force myself and think, could anyone see how bad I'm feeling? You imagine that they're going to catch you out on it. And when I saw this Huffington Post article of these 23 symptoms.
I had all 23.
You did?
The whole thing, it was just Sean. Yeah. Crazy, huh?
Crazy. I looked at this and I thought, this sounds just like pyroluria. I wonder if someone with these symptoms who calls themselves an introvert could get on these nutrients and feel better. So I did a blog post and I had the pyroluria questionnaire and the introvert questionnaire and I invited my community to comment. And now it's one of my most popular blogs on my website and people saying, I've got all the pyroluria symptoms, I've got all the introvert symptoms, so there's definitely a connection, we know that. They get on the pyroluria protocol and they say, I don't feel like I'm an introvert anymore.
Now they're the life of the party.
So, yeah. So, we talk about introversion as being a personality trait that we're born with, but maybe we're just born with this genetic predisposition or this pyroluria, and it's a genetic thing and it's a biochemical thing.